Hi, my name is Emilie Belage, and I recently graduated from a Master in Science in Epidemiology in the Department of Population Medicine at the University of Guelph. And I'm just about to start the program, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine at Michigan State University. And basically my end goal is to be a large animal veterinarian, and my main interests are dairy cattle, especially udder health and mastitis prevention. So my research focused on milking management and mastitis prevention, and we were interested in knowing what percentage of Canadian dairy farmers are adopting the recommended milking practices that have been put out for the industry. And then after we gathered that data, we wanted to know what were some barriers that producers would experience that would stop them from adopting these practices, and then what would motivate them to include these in their milking routine. So we found through the National Dairy Study that the majority of Canadian dairy farmers are adopting these recommended milking practices, which is very good. What we found surprising was that there were some that were not as adopted as others, and particularly use of pre-milking teat disinfectant, which was only about 64% of farms. Now, we're not surprised by the variation because some practices may work for one farm and not for another due to barn type, herd size, or number of people milking. But we do want to see some improvement in some of these areas. So in the second part of my project, we asked some producers why they were adopting practices or what was stopping them from adopting these practices. And what we found was that there was a lot of misinformation or lack of information by some producers as to why these practices are important. There was also a bit of if it ain't broke, don't fix it attitude. So producers that had a routine that worked for them were not very keen on changing it, which is understandable. And then when we asked them what would motivate them to improve udder health or adopt practices in their milking routine, most producers listed having an economic incentive for decreased SCC or increased milk quality, as well as having healthier animals and decreasing mastitis incidence, not only in their herd, but in the industry as a whole. So what this means for producers is, for producers who have a good SCC and don't have issues with mastitis or udder health, they can keep going with the routine they have. It's always a good idea to review it periodically just to make sure that there won't be any issues that might have come up and may impact the udder health down the line. Now, for producers who are looking to make improvements in the udder health area, it might be beneficial to speak with an advisor like a veterinarian or a milking equipment representative just to see if there are any of these practices that might be worth implementing in their routine, like force stripping before milking just to identify the clinical cows, or wearing gloves and doing more cleaning in between cows to ensure that there's more cleanliness through the entire routine. So through this research, we hope to increase some of the efforts that have been going on for knowledge translation and transfer, and increase the available information that is out there for the producers regarding milking practices and udder health. And with this, we hope that with there being more information out there, some producers will be able to adopt these practices into their routines, and it will benefit them in the long term with their udder health. We know implementing some of these recommended milking practices is one of the main preventative measures that producers have against mastitis and for increased udder health. So through this research, we do know that the majority of producers are adopting these practices, but there is some room for improvement, and we hope that this research will help address some of these barriers. Now, if you want more information about milking practices and udder health, you're welcome to click the link below for the National Mastitis Council website. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.